Today I'm talking facts about trisomy 21, also known as Down syndrome. And yes, folks with Down syndrome are some of the sweetest, loveliest people I've ever met as well. First, I have to say that life expectancy for people with Down syndrome has greatly increased over the years. Infant mortality rates have greatly decreased over the years. Folks with Down syndrome can live full, big, beautiful, wonderful lives where they're semi-independent and, medical needs are not very severe. Cognitive delay, not super severe, mild to moderate, right? I also have to say that with an extra chromosome comes also greater rates of other medical issues or conditions. 50% of babies born with Down syndrome have a congenital heart defect. Now the infants with the congenital heart defect were 5 times more likely to die within the first year than other babies of Down syndrome that didn't have the congenital heart defect. Infant mortality rate is still greatly higher than the national average. Children with Down syndrome are at a higher risk for early infant leukemia or early childhood leukemia. There's way higher occurrences of intestinal blockages, GI issues, hearing loss, along with eye diseases, thyroid disease. Also, older adults with Down syndrome have a much higher likelihood of developing early onset Alzheimer's. According to the CDC, children age 0 to 4 with private insurance, average medical care costs were 12 times higher for children with Down syndrome compared to children of the same age without Down syndrome. For infants with Down syndrome, those born with a heart defect had on average healthcare costs that were 5 times higher in the first year of life than for infants with Down syndrome that did not have a heart defect. Nearly 60% of families of children with Down syndrome provided healthcare at home. Over 40% of families of children with Down syndrome had a family member who stopped working because of the child's condition, and about 40% reported the child's condition caused financial problems. The last thing I want to talk about is some of the things parents of children with trisomy 21 kind of talk to me about. And they're like, hey, listen, I'm super involved in the community and I know lots of people with Down syndrome and I know a handful that have medically complex care issues. And to that, I want to say, I think there's a few things at play. First, yes, our medical advancements are amazing. And I think they have allowed our children with Down syndrome to live much bigger, better, more independent lives than ever before. And that same technology advancements is also true in the maternal fetal medicine world. So for folks that are finding out they are carrying a trisomy 21 pregnancy, they're also probably finding out there is congenital heart defects, there is GI issues, there are all these other things, these comorbidities, and so they might be choosing to terminate. So the number of really high needs has gone down possibly for that reason. Lastly, a lot of the, in the statistics stated above, the super, super sick kids usually die within the first year or the first 5 years. Also, really sick kids aren't probably getting super involved in the community because they're just not well enough to go to parks and go to gatherings and all of those things. Again, there is a wide range of outcomes in the trisomy 21 diagnosis arena. You can have pretty independent and really mildly, limitations and issues. And you can have not that at all. And it's very severe. And there are lots of comorbidities and it's a lot different of a picture. So I hope this was a helpful video and I hope it was objective and stuck to the facts.